is wondering anything, but we do have some information to give. And then at the end of that, we'll be taking any questions or any concerns that anybody has. I'm glad to say that we got a couple of water board members here, and I'm sure that they'd be willing, to talk to you about if you got some problems too. But, we're all in this together, and so we're really just trying to all come together and see what we can come up with as far as what needs to be done at this point. So I'm going to hand it over to Mary, and she's going to talk to you about some of the things that are going on right now.
Hi, everybody. So I've got a little bit of a sore throat issue, so bear with me. I sent out an agenda, or we sent out an agenda on Facebook, and it sort of had question marks at the end, so we really are welcoming, discussion. Because I just wanted to update you on some things that are going on that, I think it's important that we all sort of stay on the same page with things that are being planned and things that are happening at PSC. One of the first things I wanted to talk about is, so Bob Bocock came in probably back in January, wasn't it? And he talked about a number of things that he wanted to do, working directly with the water district, with the water board, with Kentucky Rural Water, and with Greg Heitzman to sort of, and most importantly, from our point of view, definitely with citizenry, to assess what's going on with the system and to look at what solutions we can come to together. The idea that, if we come together to try to come up with solutions to the problems that are facing the system, that's going to be a lot more effective than if the state comes in and says, here's what the fix is. In that regard, we are talking about having a water fair with Bob Bocock here on site on June 9th. And that's going to be on a Saturday. We've got it tentatively June 9th and June 10th. I don't know if it's going to be 1 day or 2 days. But so Bob is talking about having what he calls a day of learning. And where the water professionals and people from the district and people from the water board and people from Kentucky Rural Water and the citizens will all come together to sort of discuss the system and learn about, look at a map of the system, learn about where the tanks are, where the zones are, where different people fit within the system, how the system works, so that we can all have better understanding when things go wrong about what exactly is going wrong and how we may be able to work together to troubleshoot and problem solve and work together towards solutions to the problems that are happening. He also wants to bring in, and I guess he's gotten some offers from the Plumbers Union, which is called the International Plumbers Union. They have offered to come in and help residents come into the county and go into people's houses and help residents with flushing their individual house water systems and their water heaters to make sure that the systems in the house are running as cleanly as possible. And probably, we haven't talked about this, but I would assume that part of that would be detecting leaks. I think anecdotally, we've heard a lot of talk about people having really high water bills, and it sounds like they have leaks in their system that we need to be, that we need to find out about. And I think that can be part of that. Yeah.
Part of what we are working on to go along with what Mary's talking about, Bob sends these recommendations, and we are taking those recommendations along with our consultant Greg Heitzman and basically overlaid those two to see what they basically have the same things. Bob's recommended this, Heitzman recommended this, and we're going to put those forward. And part of that is we're in the process right now of redoing our billing to where everybody has zones, so you know what tank you're on, that's what you're talking about. So we're in the process of doing that, so that in the future be on your bill exactly what zone you're in, and so you'll know what tank you're on, you'll know exactly, so you can kind of help troubleshoot leaks and things like that. I have been working with Kentucky Housing. I do a lot of work with them in the mortgage business, and I've been working with Kentucky Housing. They have some programs where you come in with low and middle income housing, and come in with some grants that we can get maybe for, and it's really for the individuals in the county to where they come in. If you And there's nothing definite on it yet, I just kind of started working with them, like a lot of work with them, but, and that's something that we're gonna maybe try, hopefully, we can continue to meet with our citizens, and maybe we can start working on some grants, improving the rate, to help people at their homes.
That would,
So I think that would be good too.
yeah, so they have some folks with older homes.
Absolutely. Because a lot of these, what the cold camp houses, I mean, you got a lot of other houses, camping units, things. So that's something I'm personally, because I have that relationship already.
Yeah.
And I'm actually going down there, meeting down there with KC. And I'll report back to you guys on that, so you can kind of spread the word as far as that goes. On maybe when we do it in town, say something for the citizens, as well as that, like I said, doing that kind of work. Hopefully it'll work out, but that's good. I just thought that went along with what you were saying.
Well, it's important too to make sure that everybody's personal house system is working as efficiently as possible, because that's a waste of water. It's leaking out, that's the water that has to be
I think
processed.
maybe some of the other issues, I think people experience some of that, probably has to do that all the time. And so I think we can help folks there.
And old piping
Go a long way.
is really dangerous.
Yeah.
The galvanized pipe, I have a couple of samples of it on my house this winter. It's relatively, some of it's relatively new pipe that I have put in. But as pouring water goes through galvanized, it doesn't take any kind of valve for it to stop off. You take a 3/4 pipe and it's down to a pencil in no time. And I've got those out in the truck, but I didn't remember to bring them in. I'll show you one.
I've got these out of an old house, we just had to do it.
If anyone.
Yeah, so hopefully that's something that we can work with the housing, and that will be just specifically for the citizens to maybe be able to go and apply for those grants and maybe say, we can do that. So, I'm working on it, like I said, I'll update you guys maybe the next water board meeting, or just I'll do it against before to kind of let you know on that. But I'm going down there, going to Frankfurt next month sometime for some community. And then I've got something set up to kind of meet with those folks when I'm there.
Right, so hopefully we'll have more information.
Yeah, I hope so, yeah.
By June 9th. We'll definitely-
Yeah, that's kind of my ideas. So when that, because I'm hoping maybe it's going to come to that.
Yeah, that
So
would be wonderful.
that's what I'm hoping.
So we hope, spread the word in the community, everybody, June 9th. That's going to be on a Saturday. We don't have a location yet. We're trying to figure out exactly.
I think that
Where the best-
Bob mentioned that he thought we would actually have it at the plant in the parking lot.
Which might be
And that
yeah,
I would say
definitely, that would be educational for folks. And we want to make it fun too, so we're going to try to figure out how to have some bands and some face painting and stuff for kids to do, so it's not all just, talking about water, but that will be the focus of the weekend. And then sort of in the same note, I wanted to mention that we have gotten an offer from a nonprofit organization called Pure Foundation. They have heard about our water problems through CNN. They're a national nonprofit. And they are offering to bring in folks to provide in-house point-of-use filtration systems. This is on the sink faucet, basically. And then also provide free water filters, the filters that would need to be changed, and to have a training. And we're working with Bob Bocock on this because we feel like he has expressed concerns, and he did when he was here, about people relying too much on water filters because you don't know that they're filtering the right contaminants, and B, if you don't just religiously abide by the guidelines on how to change the filters and how to maintain them, they're pretty much worthless. So they can give you a real false sense of security. We've put Bob Bocock in touch with the foundation officers of the Pure Foundation so that they can work together on how to best provide this service for the community. And so we're hoping that by June 9th that there will be people from the Pure Foundation here who will be talking about and possibly willing and able to install filters in people's houses. And Bob Bocock's folks could talk about what is being filtered and how you have to maintain them. That's kind of a developing situation. So we're hopeful that that is something that would be useful. One thing we do know is that the filters that they are offering to provide will filter out the disinfection byproducts.
They will?
They will. So they are capable of that level of filtration.
I was told sometimes when they got these in the school.
Well, some can and some can't. I mean, and that's one of the things that's really important is we've talked to, Bob has sort of been stressing, it's very important to know what kind of filter you're getting, what it's good for, what it's not good for, and how it must be maintained. Otherwise, it's completely useless and it may actually be bad because it's using that false sense of security. So these, Bob has been talking to the people at Pure Foundation, and these would be able to filter out disinfection byproducts if used properly. So we're working on that. And hopefully June 9th
Yeah, I was told by somebody that PLK people that the school system got, they have them here and they could not,
that it was impossible to get one.
Huh?
That you were told that it was impossible
Yeah, I
to
was
filter
told,
out.
I was told that like this, look, you can't, this will catch, charcoal. Take the smell out, and take it over, and it'll take things, the disinfectant byproducts, and will not.
Well, and that, I don't know, and that's the kind of concern, that's the reason when we were contacted, I was the one who was contacted by this foundation, I sent them directly to Bob, because I trust his professional judgment on this kind of thing. And so he's working directly with them to make sure that this is kind of, that this will be a good offer and not something that might not be fair to make.
We were talking this morning too, while we were at our training the last couple of days. And I'm saying this because I want to know if you all know anything about it. So, a gentleman from Rural Water was there and approached us about a filtration system that we can put in at our plant that's being used in Cincinnati. And Ashland just started using it, and it's free for us. They will come in. We asked how much does it cost, and they said nothing if you want to try it out. Have anybody heard of that? Heard of that being done in Ashland or anything?
And is it being offered free because it's like a trial?
I believe that may be part of it, and maybe just because we're so broke, they don't think we don't have any money.
Are they charging Cincinnati?
I don't know. I don't know. I know very little about it. I was just wondering if you all heard anything about that.
It might be just a
Would it-
trial.
It may just be a trial, maybe something on that line.
Bob mentioned something at that meeting. I don't know, I think maybe you were, but you.
I was.
He mentioned something about some kind of filtration system that would use the existing 3 tanks as an equalizer to kind of settle things out, and then there would be a separate filtration in the parking lot. There was a small system.
Yeah, I don't know.
The way he was talking was that it would be using the 3 tanks that we had and just use 2 of them and change. Because to say this first one filter, it would filter most of it out, and then the second one would pick up what was left. And then once this first filter got so full, then you could switch it off and turn on the third one. And
Right.
So
and
you
then
can
do it
switch
that,
out
and then
the-
clean this one out, and then start the whole process.
Okay, I thought there was something in the parking lot, some kind of
Yeah, I think there
small
was
system in the parking
that
lot.
had to be there for that.
I'll find out a little more. 'Cause
So,
Greg-
yeah,
Scott mentioned it to me this morning. I was more asking if you guys knew anything about it. But apparently it's being used in Cincinnati. Ashland just had their system, and it's supposed to help filter out a lot of byproducts in the water at the plant too. So I'll find out. I'll let you know. But like I said, I was just wondering if you all know.
yeah. And well, and I guess while we're on this subject, are you all in good communication with Bob? I feel like we're kind of relying on Bob for a lot of stuff right now.
Right now, I mean, Bob gave us his recommendations. Our job right now is to try to put those together and try to do what he tells us we need to do. And I have to talk to him just for counsel more than anything, if something comes up, kind of probably what you all do too, like, what do you think about this, because he's obviously the expert, and he's incredibly difficult to get a hold of, you have to catch him, come on planes and different things, but, I talked to him, messaging back and forth, more for counsel than anything. you know, hey, we got this crazy idea, say,
Right.
I'm gonna call him about this filtration system. Let's talk about that. So, yeah, I mean, and two, as being closer to Jim, we want to be a big part of that, the board wants to be a big part of that too.
Yeah.
Because I think there's a lot as well, and especially having the community there, kind of just talk, what the ideas, we don't have, we don't have all the answers, so. Pretty good, so, yeah, but, yeah, no, I have, just more for council, for some of the things.
Well, so the second thing that's going on is the University of Kentucky is still conducting its study. I just want everyone to know that it's an ongoing process. They were here in, I think it was December, when they did interviews, and there were several folks in the community who gave in-depth interviews about water and health, basically. That's the long and short of it. And they have used those interviews to develop a long-form questionnaire that they will be then giving to us. I think the people in the community are going to be the ones who are giving it to go out and administer these questions. And so they're using this to develop as big a data set as they can about what's going on health-wise in the community and what people's concerns are, specifically related to health and water. They are also, as part of that, they're going to be doing a limited amount of tap water testing, and that's going to be randomized throughout the county. They're not so that it will be scientifically valid. So they will be essentially knocking on doors. They're going to be, figuring out as a random matter what houses to test, and then they'll be knocking on doors. So if folks can start, telling people in the community that this is going to be happening in the summer, that people will be coming to your house to ask to do health questionnaires and maybe wanting to do tap samples. We really need folks to be as receptive to that as possible to make it a valid study.
We'll put something on the water district's page,
Okay.
Facebook, and get that out too.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
And also, we might want some people to go with them to their different places that they go, like Barbian in your area, you know the people that they're, how to find their houses or whatever. Now, it's very randomized, so they can't just, they're not gonna go see who wants to talk to them. But at the same time, we need local people to be with the students that are working with the professors, so that people feel more comfortable when they have somebody come in their house, turning on their tap and taking all their,
I'll do that. Do that one.
Yeah, yes,
Yeah.
that's what we need,
I'm sure
is
John
people
Paul
that
won't
know
mind.
people in different areas.
Oh, I thought I don't mind if you do it.
Yeah, I know. You mind if I did that?
No.
You can do it, we'll
So
go
as
get
we get closer to the time, we'll be putting it on Facebook and asking for volunteers for folks to help out. I think it would be great if we can get as many people in the community as possible to take part in any of the question, help, administering it. That would be-
Really and truly, I believe this board is interested. We're all on the water system ourselves. We all use this water. And we want not just to feel the community stressed out, but we want kids to have a safe water system for the county. We're all connected. This county is connected. I mean, it's just so many little ties that you couldn't believe how we're all tied together, families and stuff.
Yeah, no, anything that we can do to help that, you let us know, and we'll put it out on the water district's page, or, whatever you need, just let us know, because we support that 100%.
Jimmy, Dawn, I need you or John to get with Crum and get me approval for my idea that we talked about at the last water board meeting. Because I leave, the 30th of May to go to that water conference, and I would really like to have it done before then.
Are you talking about the releases?
Cleanup?
No, the
Cleanup thing, yeah, but I'm talking about the releases.
the legal, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
I thought they would.
Get on that as soon as you can and let me know.
Yeah, we're working on it, that's, I'll
Yeah, I need
check.
the legal releases so I can get that done. I'd like to get it done in May.
That's fine. Okay, absolutely.
I can't see any problem
But
with
it'd be
that.
better before the snakes are out.
Absolutely.
Well, no, the snakes are out. Just as quick as the sun starts shining,
I saw one yesterday on the trail.
Yeah, Yeah, 'cause Rex is gonna have the.
So don't never think that the snakes are not out. They are.
I've got a lot of great support for that idea, and I really appreciate you all working
And if
with
folks
me.
don't know, the idea, Barbie Ann proposed at the water board meeting that she would be willing to sort of spearhead this effort to clean up the reservoir.
No, is it the reservoir or?
Reservoir.
Yeah, it was the original.
Yeah, because that is where all the water's coming from. Well, it goes through the reservoir. Yeah.
But she was going to pick up the trash that was on there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's all those, there's rubber gloves, there's batteries, there's propane tanks, there's lighters, there's
There's
I don't know
probably
how many
also
packs of
needles.
meat.
You'll have, there'll be needles.
packs of meat floating in the water.
They fish up there.
Yeah, they fish up there and they leave packs in the foam. And you know that little piece that goes in there that absorbs the blood? Yeah, it's floating in our water. And I would like to get that out of there.
Why don't they shut the reservoir? I mean, that would make, shut the reservoir down for public use. I mean, it should be used, if that's your drinking water system, you don't want people up there with canoes or boats with gasoline.
I think
There's
our
not
first
supposed to be any
water, our
gas.
first
Huh?
cleanup.
There's not supposed to be any gasoline motors on that.
Well, I know there's not supposed to be any trash there, but there shouldn't be. There should be people up there.
Well, I agree with that, but gasoline motors,
They
if
can't have
they catch you,
gasoline motors, that's good.
if they catch you up there with a gasoline motor, they will wrap you up for that. That's just that's been that way ever since it's been out there.
Well, so the next thing is what's going on with PSC. And, you know, I'm happy to answer questions from our point of view on what's going on with PSC. The rate case is, I guess I want to stress to everyone that the rate increase that was granted back in March is temporary. That doesn't mean, you know, we're not, it's basically, they have applied for a 49.6 rate increase, 6% rate increase. The PSC granted them on an emergency basis a temporary rate increase of, what, 17.5% plus a $4.91 surcharge on each bill. That's temporary. The longer term permanent or sort of permanent issue will come up later. So the next thing that's happening at the PSC on the rate increase is May 1st, the PSC staff has to give, their deadline for a report is due. So the process is, the PSC it's kind of an unusual agency. They have a lot of staff who are experts in things like how to set rates. So the staff has taken all of the information that the water district has provided. They came out and they did a field inspection of the water district and they got more information. And they're taking all of that and they're, on that basis, they're determining what the rate needs to be for the water district to be able to pay its operation and maintenance expenses. Well, it's needed revenue. So that report is due on May 1st. After that report comes in, we will have 14 days to review it. And by we, I mean Martin County Concerned Citizens. We are parties in that case. We've intervened. We will have 14 days to review that and file any objections. We can also ask for a hearing. So I would speculate that there will likely be a hearing. And that would probably happen in late May or early June. That's kind of a guess. I think the PSC wants to see this finalized pretty quickly, so I think it'll be a pretty short time frame. And then after that, there will be a determination of what the final rate is. So the 17.5% plus the surcharge may or may not be the final rate. It could be higher, it could be lower, we don't know. There was a report, or the one thing in the PSC order that was unusual, I think, for the PSC, I don't know that they've ever done this, is they required that the water district report on its expenditures. That report was due on April 15th. I haven't seen it yet. I don't know.
Report on its what?
Expenditures.
Oh.
I think there was a quote in the order about every penny spent.
Yeah, we literally have to send them every dime we spend out.
Greg has been very diligent about keeping up with things to this nature, but I haven't asked him if,
Yeah.
I haven't
Well, I
either.
mean, it's been 4 days. I think it was probably, it had to be mailed to the PSC by the
I think so.
15th, so I'm not saying it's late. I'm
yeah,
saying
I don't know.
we should be seeing that any day now.
I think that you guys see, I think when we go back, I think we will be very close.
But also,
And all that is made public after.
Yeah, so that you guys
It
can all
will
see.
be available on the PSC's website. As soon as it's filed, as soon as the PSC gets it and files it, as soon as the lawyers get a copy of it, it will be made public. And we'll put that on Facebook, we'll put a link so everyone can look at that.
one of the things that I like the best about the rate increase was like the surcharge. When you, with that, and that was added onto it, it made probably a 27% increase. But if that amount stays the same, once, that surcharge is we have to put it into a special account. And it can only be used on the bills that we have. You cannot use it for anything else, no other expenses or anything. It must come off,
And the PSC has to approve.
and it must be
everything
approved
we
by
do.
public service. And then once this is over, then that surcharge comes off.
Right. So once you all get that accounts payable paid down, that
Yes,
surcharge will.
then the surcharge goes away.
Um,
So as a consumer, I like that, but
Not only that, but the more you actually have to pay for a bill, then the less that $4 and some means to you. If they actually made it 22%, then the higher your bill, the higher it is. So I think it's good.
that's just what I thought. I thought it was a win for consumers. I am a consumer also.
Well, I think that's what we originally pushed for, and then we were told the PSC had never approved that.
But they had approved, we found out
Yeah, that was after.
yesterday that they had approved it for one other place.
And so that's
And
all.
we had met with them yesterday, or the last few days.
Well, it's interesting, I have been digging around on past PSC cases, and it looks like that was actually recommended back in 2010, but it wasn't ever made part of the PSC order. They talked about the surcharge.
Because when we first started talking about it, that's what we actually wanted to do.
They're very
Whether or not
resistant
we
to
do it,
change.
So but ultimately, that's what we ended up with, which we liked. That's what we wanted, so that we could get retired, out of the way. That's what we had the meeting about yesterday, especially, was we applied for financing. We need, our GM has to be able to sign those things, and the previous minutes had to be approved in order to be able to, put some things required. So we were all in Prestonsburg at the PSC training. And that's why we had the meeting there, because we originally, supposed to tell Gary, we originally had it, we said 1, and then we realized, because that's when lunch was a
Yeah, that's
1.
all about hitting that for 24 hours.
Yeah, so we changed the time before, so after it was over, so that we could do it. I think we did it about 30 seconds.
You know, it's not being mean, that's what the law.
Well, that's okay, oh, you're right, I mean, that's the
Yeah, I
thing.
mean, I
That's
didn't
why
know what
wanna
it
do
was
the
for,
right
I just
way.
thought,
Well, this is just showing too that this new board is trying to do things
yeah.
above board because I think maybe before people would just go ahead and sign the minutes and unless the minutes are approved in a meeting, then they're not valid. So
But that's what we applied for financing.
that's what we're trying to do.
Try to retire as much of those accounts payable debt as we possibly can at one time. And then the idea is for that account, the bank or whomever the financing goes through, because I'm trying like 5 different places. So whoever the financing goes through, they'll sweep their interest each month, and the payment comes due, and then we'll have a specific time of the month that they will sweep the principal, and pay it back. So and it'll look, I don't know, there's 10 different ways that but we'll get there. And then, like I said, we'll retire that debt with that surcharge account, and so we retire all that debt.
So you're trying to get a loan? Is that what you're
Yes.
saying?
yeah.
That's what the PSC actually wants us to do. They want us to get a
How much
loan.
money?
It's about $900,000 roughly
And how will you pay that back?
with the surcharge. The surcharge that's actually on the bill now, what did we say, $491? Yeah, that particular amount of that money, of the bill goes to one account that we budgeted. And And then, so every month when everybody's paying the water bill, that portion will go into that particular account. And that's the only thing that it can be used for, is to retire that debt. But the PSC wants us
Just
to.
to pay your debt, outstanding
The
debt.
outstanding debt. Everything going forward. Because kind of the idea of it, when you sit down from a business standpoint, is if we can set this all to the side, and if we've got this one account that takes care of that, we can make a true budget, like a real budget. And for repairs, for the things that need to actually be done, as long
On
as
an
it's.
ongoing basis.
Yes, we can do a real budget. I don't know if the last time maybe a real budget is even done.
Mhm.
So
It's like it's been a while.
it's been a lot, based on what I can find. So we're gonna do a real budget,
That's a great idea.
the real deal. So, and it'll be, and we hope to retire that debt even faster without, not just with the surcharge money. If we've got extra money, we'll try to use it too to retire that debt. So we can get
Sell the
people-
vehicles and things like that.
whatever we can do, so that we can put on a Dave Ramsey, everybody knows who Dave Ramsey is, that's what we're gonna do to the debt. We're gonna try to take it out as fast as we possibly can. Not just with the surcharge money, but other money that we bring in as well, and try to get rid of it and get that off the people as fast as we possibly can. It's not their fault, it's not ours either,
Right.
but we gotta fix it. So that's what we're doing, and we'll try to get out of it as quickly as we can, make sure our guys have the material that they need to actually work and fix things the right way, which we have been able to do. We've been stocking things up, we actually have inventory down, things that we have to actually buy, the things that they have to do on a daily basis. I meet with the accountants now every Thursday morning to go over things with the GM, because eventually I'm a new water board member, it's gonna wear off on the PSC, so I better know what I'm talking about. So we meet every Thursday, and John's even come up there once and sat with me and kind of gone through it. But we meet every Thursday morning, so that I know how much money we got, I know what we're doing. So we've actually started even, the guys have material, it's actually being put in. I mean, actually, the kids that don't have to MacGyver every day. I mean, those boys are geniuses. If you ever see them out, thank them, because they work really, really hard, and they have, it's that good old Eastern Kentucky ingenuity. They figure out ways to fix things with nothing. It's amazing what they can do. It really is. I mean, I've just been so impressed with all of it, because I know nothing about anything, okay? I couldn't fix anything. So, but we're able to get material on every leak that we've had, we've actually fixed, legitimately fixed. We get Band-Aid fixed. We've been up somewhere over, we replaced some service lines in an area. We have, it's just headed, as I said at the board meeting, it's slow, but it's in a different direction than it has been.
That's good news.
And
That's all good news.
it's going forward. And we're working our tails off. I mean, we are working hard. And I know more about water than I ever dreamed I would. I also know more about dance moms than I ever thought I would. We'll just throw that out there.
What now?
Dance moms. I'm a dance dad.
Oh, okay.
So I know about dance moms.
Girl.
Yeah, I know about dance moms too, but that's, I'm Monster High Dolls. I know a lot of stuff I never dreamed I would ever know
That's a whole
about.
different
I'm
story.
just glad he as opposed to him doing the move.
Yeah, look, where do you think they got those skills?
I know where.
I just want to say, all this is really, one of the things that we're going to talk about in just a few minutes with Elizabeth that is a concern, and that we've talked about all along, is the affordability of the water in the county. And, it's not a secret, we've got a lot of folks in this county who are on fixed income, for whom this small, what was, compared to what they were asking for, was a small increase, is going to be a hit. So we are still concerned about that, and one of the things, a couple of things that are working against water affordability here, I think, are the problems that we essentially have inherited, that you have inherited. The fact that the water loss has been over 60% for a long time. That means that you're paying for water that's just going to the
Let's talk
ground.
about that real quick. We think the meters broke at the plant. We think that's why our water loss is so high. We think that
I think it's showing that.
we are literally shutting the plant down right now. 5 hours a day. 5 hours a day, we are shutting that plant down. That means there's so much water in the tanks, if we keep pushing water, that we're going to overflow.
Well, I definitely agree, there's probably something wrong,
No.
because starting in December, you were showing
You're not
100% water
wrong.
loss.
No, and you're not wrong. What you're saying is not wrong. I'm not disagreeing. I'm just telling you, this is some new stuff that has come up here recently. We're buying a new meter, Because the meter that is up there right now that measures the water that comes out of the tank that we put into the distribution system lays in a slant. Well, it's also so old that you can't even buy parts for it. But it lays in a slant, and we just recently found out that particular meter will not read correctly if laid on a slant. So we are buying a new meter for it. We've also dug some kits so they can use those machines or some kind of flow meter, thank you, so that we can better track our water. Now, we just fixed a leak up Sawmill Hollow up Vanilla last week, and I got a text this morning. What I'm getting at is our system's pretty tight right now. We're producing normally about $2 million to $2.1 million or gallons of water a day. Right now, we're doing like 1.6 is what I'm planning. So I'm just saying that for the improvement, because I agree. It's getting better, and what I'm saying is your concern is valid,
But
we all have it.
Well, something happened, I will say something happened December, January, February, your reports are just wrong.
They're not right.
They're impossible.
They're impossible. No, you're right. I agree with you 100%. And that's why we're trying to get it to the meter. That's what we're trying to
We
figure
have
out.
had people from rural water
We've
and,
had everybody's brother in here trying to
Trying to
figure out
figure it
what's
out.
going on, because there's either a decimal point off somewhere, and I'm not saying the water loss hasn't been 60, 65%, because I'm pretty sure it has been. I'm sure we've been dumping half this water in the ground for who knows how long, because I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying. I'm just saying that we have seen
I
some.
mean, it was 2000.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's 20 years.
Yeah. We're seeing some.
this meter has been in there for a long time
For a
also.
long time. And they calibrate it, they do all the things that we're supposed to do, but we're trying to figure out exactly why that's happening too. And I don't disagree with you, Austin. I think you're right in what you're saying. I'm just saying we have definitely made some improvement, because it is.
And I believe that the meter will definitely give us more accurate.
And then we can go back and make.
We're still on, our system is still
It
leaks.
still leaks, I mean.
Well, and I guess that's what I was just getting at.
No.
The system is inefficient because of water leaks, because you're paying for to treat water that's eventually just going into the
No,
ground.
you're right.
And because the accounts payable have gotten so bad that vendors are either not willing to supply or paying premium for everything they're buying.
No, we're paying.
So-
for everything. No, you're right.
Fixing all of this will make things cheaper in the long run. It's just the pain of how to get
Yeah,
there.
you're right, because the pie in the sky, I mean, I would not say this out loud pretty much anywhere, but you know, the pie in the sky dream, so I don't want anybody coming to me and say, lower the rate. The ultimate goal is to completely revamp our system, update everything, to where we can bring these back, and we don't have to charge that much, because, I mean, we are a poor county. And I said at the PSC hearing, and I'm not lying, I have a 90-year-old grandmother that's on a fixed income and cannot afford this rate increase. My mom is on a fixed income, she can't afford it. I have aunts and uncles, my whole family lives here. They can't afford it, you know, and we've got to fix this. We've got to figure out a way to get this all fixed and get this brought back so that it's not so expensive to buy water here.
And while we're on this topic, another point on affordability is people validly believe that the water is not safe to drink, therefore they have to pay to buy drinking water. And that, there's good reason for that.
And I believe you're right too. I think that, now, we will disagree somewhat on this, okay? Because I think it's probably better than what you think it is, or what most people think it is. And it's probably not as good as I think it is. It is, the people who think it's bad, I don't think it's as bad as what they think it is. I think the reality is somewhere right in the middle. And how we change our perspective on that, you know, like making me understand that it's not as good as I think it is, but I can only go with what my experience has been. And I shower in mine, I cook with mine, it's never smelled funny. Gary and I had this conversation. We talked about this.
Yeah, we talked about, but you get your water from Bristol.
That's what I was just gonna say.
Yeah, and that may be the
Not all
case.
of it.
But
Actually,
no,
not
I
all
mean,
the water
the
comes.
water that we get right now doesn't come from Bristol, as far as I know. Right now it doesn't, and I still drink it. I mean, but that's been my experience.
Well,
Now, my
why-
grandmother lives in Beauty.
We
That's
still
had a
pump
totally
water
different
into that
experience.
tank that comes out of Preston.
But I mean, it's an expense for people, and
Oh, my goodness.
I don't, I wouldn't, just from what I've seen, I wouldn't say to anyone who's had
Thinks in that
groundwater
tank.
on tap, you need to drink.
Yeah, well, it all depends on where you live.
And,
Vicky
and
wanted to
actually,
say-
there's no guarantee that Prestonsburg
Yeah,
water is any better than.
I don't know, I can't hear very well, but have you talked about how, or is there a relationship with all the cheater bars? And that's the people who are buying these at hardware stores and bypassing the meter? Are they responsible for a lot of the water loss?
That could be some of the water loss, and since they were actually an item on the shelves of two of the hardware stores, it's obvious that it is a problem. But who
So-
knows?
It is not just here, in our training this week, one of the guys that was getting up and teaching the training said that he'd stopped in a little store somewhere, and there was a cheaper bar, and they were selling,
I mean, it's gonna be hard to quantify, but I guess the hope is that as the service lines are replaced, as we get the grant money in to replace the service lines, that we'll find.
we have been finding people that have cheaper bars. We've had several people that's been arrested.
We're trying to prosecute.
We also found, this one person that had stolen the meter from somewhere else. And had hooked, we pulled his meter had been pulled, so he wasn't supposed to have anything in there. So he stole another meter and put it in his, and then he pulled the car over top of the meter box.
Yeah.
So we had to get the law to come and have him move the car so we could check to see where they had a meter or not.
What?
You sure I can speak now? All right, so is there a relationship, between the amount of, since the cheater bar doesn't meter, the water isn't, it's metered, but it's not accountable for, is it part of the water loss?
Yes, that would be part of it.
Yes.
It would be unaccounted for water.
Okay. Also, I would think that the bypassing the line to fill up swimming pools, which I've heard that happens in a few instances, that a direct line goes to a swimming pool, would cause it to be a high volume also, right?
It would.
Thank you.
And all that is theft.
Yeah.
And but it's like everything else, it's getting prosecuted. You can get people arrested for several different things, but getting it prosecuted. Usually if you can get 2 or 3 cases on water theft prosecuted and people sit in the paper, then that will stop some of it. Because people do not think that stealing water is theft.
But you're stealing from the community.
They are stealing from the
Everybody is paying for
community.
water.
But it's the same, it's just like shoplifting. If you go into the supermarket and you pick a grape up and you eat it, it's shoplifting.
But you know what, the thing about it is, when they're stealing from all the rest of us because we're paying.
I agree.
It's not, there's no government out there that's paying.
No,
We have
I
absolutely.
pay
definitely
on 3
improved on
properties.
collections. I think if you guys remember right, the last meeting, we billed for like $159,000 roughly, we collected $228,000. So we are trying, I mean, like we pulled 100 meters in one day. Went back out to people who hooked back up. We are constantly going back out to the people that haven't.
And I'm assuming you give them the option of payment.
Yes, we will. I mean, we're not trying to.
Well, and another thing I have
We
wanted
can only
to,
do what's in our charity.
that's the thing, I've wondered if, because there's nothing about medical emergencies in the tariff that I've seen. Like if people have a medical, like a lot of tariffs will have a protection where you can't shut off water if there's like
I think
young
that-
children in the house or if there's a medical.
I'm thinking the PSC covered that in our meeting. They said that you could get like a medical emergency thing, but it would only extend it like 30 days.
Well, that's something I
And
thought we
otherwise,
might
come
want to address.
to you and work out a deal.
But our hands are tied, and this is something else that the PSC said. The tariff is law. If it's in there, we have to do it. Now,
If it's not, we can't.
if it's not, we can't. That means, like, if we want to do a lowering the water rate, for instance, we can't just do that.
Right.
It has to be approved by Public Service Commission before we can do that. Even if we wanted to do it, we can't.
Well, I think we would like to talk about the tariff at some point through all that.
We would
need
like
some
to
more
talk about
protection.
Well, our tariff is probably, it needs a lot of stuff done to it, but
No.
Gary had a question.
The day they pulled them 100 meters, there's a man standing in line at the water department. And they took his meter, and they charged him to reset it. That's wrong.
That's what I'm
The
wondering,
man was-
is there warning?
The man was right there.
Yeah, they got a disconnect notice.
Yeah, but they come in to pay the water bill. They were standing in line at the water company. And they went ahead and took the man's meter. That's wrong.
I understand what you're saying.
I mean, you gotta work
But what
with the
about,
public.
no, I understand that, but if they are, well, I mean, I understand what he's saying, but at the same time, if that's what the tariff says, and that's what we're required to do.
Well,
Is that
I
what
would
the tariff says?
like to propose that we plan to sit down and
Let's do that.
have more protections
Yeah.
in place.
Because that's something, I mean, I don't necessarily disagree with you, okay? I mean,
No, I
as far as,
I mean,
I don't disagree with you.
$15 is probably better for the customer than it is for the water company.
Yeah.
Because, you know, they live on fixed incomes, poor people, they got kids, the kids have gotta eat.
Well, okay, here's something else about it. You're supposed to have, I don't know if they have it now or not, the customer bill of rights. Like if that case there that you were talking about where the guy had a water bill and it was late and they come toward, they come and what, disconnected it while he was in line to do that. Okay, while he was in line to pay the
The
bill.
employee of the water company was taking the meter
Yeah,
because, the guy called, his wife was in line.
yeah.
They took the meter, and she told him, she said, he told him, said, she is up there paying the water bill right now. So they took the meter. Okay, they charged $15 to take the meter, they charged $15 to set the meter. That's
I
$30
think
bucks.
I think it's more than that.
Yeah, it's actually.
Yeah, it's a little bit more than that.
I think it's $40.
$40.
I think it might be a total of $80.
But the people that pull.
Okay, but here's the thing about it.
That's
If-
what they get.
If everybody is treated the same, let's say that I'm 10 or 15 days past, I get my notice, I don't pay, I don't let you know anything, you come to cut my water off, that's what you're supposed to do by tariff. But let's say that somebody hasn't paid the bill in a year, and they're still getting service. I don't know if that happens, I suspect that it
It's not
has
supposed
happened.
to.
Huh? I mean, to hold,
I paid about 4 different water bills.
okay.
I paid for the community center, for Marion Hill Lodge, for my house, for Warfield Lodge, so sometimes, you know, I don't pay any attention to anything.
Yeah,
So I went in and I paid 4 different bills. And I didn't really read which bills that I had paid. My daughter also has one. And I didn't know she'd laid her bill on my table, house, and I picked it up and I paid her. So I paid 4 bills. Well, the next month I get this notice in the mail, it's gonna pull my meter.
yeah.
And, you know, we had issued, I told them, you know, I wanted it issued, but I also wanted it done, if you do it for one, do it for all.
Yeah, do it for all. Well, see, you
So
have.
then I get the letter in the mail that says they're gonna pull my meter. So, and I thought, so I go over and I said, girls, what you all done? And they said, oh, we're so sorry. I said, no, you're doing exactly what I wanted you to do.
Yeah, but how,
If they're gonna pull mine,
yeah,
you
but
know,
how many are,
And I'm a
are
commissioner, so-
past 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 120 days?
Right now, that tariff shows.
It shouldn't, everybody should be pulled at the same time.
I agree.
It's not like a meaningful
Well, it
reason.
is.
The idea that we
I would-
have with the tariff, go ahead, I'm sorry.
I would like to know something then. If you all say that the water is safe and clean to drink, I've got a 10-month-old granddaughter. Her poor little bottom and everything is broken out real bad over the water. And her mother is my daughter, and you were to see her face, water situation. And her boyfriend just had surgery, and he's got a big hole big in his back because of the water. And if you all say the water, She doesn't feed Mary, that's my granddaughter, the city water, she feeds it with the bottled water. But she is all broke out. They had to, I told them to boil the bottled water and see what happened. And she's still got it.
Does the doctor say what's causing it?
She just got it. Jane, that's my daughter, called me last night and told me Mary was all broke out where she wears her diapers. And they bathed her. And I've seen it myself. I thought it was just heat, from the diapers, but it's not. Jane told me that it's blisters on it too.
I don't know how to answer your question. I wish I did. I wish I knew what to tell you. I can't.
I will say that Josie was allergic to paper diapers. We had to go to Bob.
Well,
I don't know.
Mary was allergic to Huggies and Luggs and Pampers, but now they've changed the diaper. She don't use those diapers anymore. And also that they put Vaseline, a jar of Vaseline on her because she got allergic to the diaper rash medicine. So, but she's blistered and everything. Matter of fact, I just changed her diaper out before I left. But if they say the water's safe and everything, for us kids.
How to answer that. I wish I could give you a good answer.
I think it's a high fluoride.
It could be the chlorine. It could be. I really don't know how to answer your question. I really do. I'm sorry if that's what's causing it. And we're doing everything we can, to try to help fix this. But
I know some of the doctors have said, they've told people they think the water causes it. But it might be chlorine, it might be where it's going through, before it gets to their house.
It's there. It could be a number of things, and I don't know how to answer that question.
It could be the type of soap.
I know we have changed soap for Addison, but she would break out.
Oh, yeah. Well, one of the things I want to ask you all, and I think there's is where you all have listed pastor accounts, and you've listed them in by zip code, not by name, but like 41231. That's where I live. Lovely. They would give just by zip code, no name or anything, but they would give an amount. 41224, they would give an amount for all the things. And you could understand if they're past due bills, and that's what these were past due bills. If it's 130 some, some of them were 80 something, you would think, okay, that's a month, so that's where somebody had maybe a leak, and they didn't get fixed, but you had some there that were quite large. I'm talking about over $1,000. And that's had to be for long term. So what do they do about things like that? It's one thing if you cut, say the case of Gary Hunt, the guy said, look, I'm seeing my wife up there, she's paid it now, no, we're cutting you off. Then to let somebody run, $1,000 water bill up and not cut them off.
That's that same question, lunchtimes, because I get that report. When we first took our positions on
Yeah, you have to look at it and say.
I went and got the report, and I was like, what? Because that's when we determined, or when I found out we had $600,000 in uncollected bills.
Yeah.
That's insanity. How do you run a business and not collect your money?
Yeah.
So, as far as, that's a great question.
Are they still out there?
No, that's why you're seeing us billing for $159,000 and we're collecting $228,000.
Okay, well, that's good.
That's where you're seeing the difference, because now we have been ultra aggressive about collecting our bills, and if we can get the tariff rewritten the way that we want it, our bills will come due on the first day of the month. You will have to the 15th, 16th, 15 days basically to pay your bill. Then if you haven't paid your bill, you get a disconnect notice. We have to have 5 days, and then whatever that day ends up being, the 20th, 21st, that's the day we pull meters every single month. And that's how every county around us does it, every single one of them. And they don't, because when I started calling around, asking, like I was going to these other water districts and saying, all right, you know, how do you all do it? And I said, well, do you have a collection agency? They all laughed at me. Because you pay your bill or you get your meter pulled. It's just that simple. And to your question, standing in the line, I don't know. You know, I mean, like I said, I don't know about that. It doesn't make sense to me that that would be that way.
Well, it's true.
I know it's true. I actually know that that's true, but I don't know why that would be done that way. And that's something that we tried to look at too.
Well, if you had,
Well, unless if they've already had the work order to pull it.
Yeah, and they're already out
And
there.
it hasn't been,
if
and
the
they haven't
bill's-
been notified not to.
Yeah, I don't
mean, if
know.
The worker,
Like I said,
I could
Yeah,
understand
but, I
that.
mean, what I'm saying, you ought to work with the people. I mean, if they're standing there in line to pay their bill, you're charging them $80.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
I mean, you know, we're paying more for water than anybody around here, and it ain't 50 grand.
if you had the customer bill of rights,
If-
it's posted,
If you're gonna make
and
it,
they're, I mean, they're really.
I mean, you're taking from us, you know,
like you're
money
talking
for the
about
water, why can't you work with the people, is what I'm saying.
Had a medical need.
You can even talk to the main man, because I went in there the other day. My daughter called me. She said, Dad, I need your help. And I went in there, was going to talk to Greg. The girls told me, said he's got 2 men back there and they're working on the computer, and I don't know how long it's going to be. I said, well, I can't stay here all day. And Jane has been to the doctor for her face, and Dr. Lafferty and Steve both has told her that it's this water, and they have to give her medicine for it and everything. And she don't understand what's going on, and I'm having to help her, you know. And when you can't talk to the head man, let the head man tell you what it's all about, who you want to go to. That's what I can't understand. If you need to talk to you or Greg or whoever, we are to be able to go in there and sit down and let him explain what's going on.
Well, you probably would have to need to make an appointment in order to be able to talk to them.
Yeah, maybe call them
So,
before
I mean,
you go.
if he is in
make
the
an
meeting-
Well,
appointment.
I was in the town
Well, sure,
of
yeah,
Billings.
sure. Can I ask you a question? Sure. What's more important, a customer or a computer?
Well, I'm gonna have to go with the customer.
It seems to me,
Oh,
I mean, we've come so far, just having 2 new board members here at this meeting is huge.
Yeah,
I mean, we've come a long way in the last year, and from the board standpoint, I mean, you guys, thank you so much for being here, but it sounds like from the office standpoint that we still have some work to do. And I would hope that the board could kind of convey to the office that they need to do some more work on customer satisfaction, on sort of making sure that people are heard. Because I've heard a lot about people who've been turned away or treated rudely, or, and that just is going to breed further distrust. So
Just like when we was in the water crisis, okay? I called the water plant, I was like, hey, I need 275 gallons of water, what are you charging for? We don't sell it. Yes, they do. The school hauls it up there and lays mortar for the bread and waffles, right or wrong. They couldn't sell it to me, but they can then. I called the judge's office, and Mike Crone said, well, yeah. He said, I'll get hold of Lee Goss and we'll get you some water. No more than I hung up the phone, Lee Goss called me. He said, son, meet me at the fire department. Okay. I offered to pay the water company for 275 gallons of water, but yet the fire department can give it to me for free. I mean,
Sounds like you got a good deal.
okay.
Yeah.
Is that treating people equal?
That cost you a little
No,
bit,
it
maybe.
is
Now,
not.
Jimmy, is that treating people equal?
Well, I don't know. I mean, as far as, so you called the water department, didn't go up there.
I'm a paying customer. I live here 365 days a
So do
year.
I.
I pay my bill. You can go look at the books.
I do too.
But does the school board pay theirs?
Larry?
We're not got a bill yet, but I guarantee you we'll pay our bills.
Well, I'm just saying, has that contractor up there
pay the bill for the water they come to the water company and get.
They're supposed to be going, they're going to a
We pay.
metered,
Yeah, we pay for the
they
water.
go to a metered hydrant right down there by KFC, or they'll go
No.
to the,
They said they went to the water plant.
yeah.
They, the guy up there that's running the show told me they went to the water plant, because I went up there and tried to buy water off him. Because nobody wouldn't tell me nothing. But yet the fire department can give it to me.
That's actually, I don't know, do we sell water from the plant like that? I actually don't know that.
You got a fire hydrant
I
out
don't
there in front of it with a
I
whole
don't
set
think
to
the
it,
plant
with a meter
has
on it
a
for the
meter
concrete
car
company.
hydrant. I don't know that person, not him, not only KFC, I thought was the only, or, I thought
KFC
there's
was
only
the one
one
that's metered.
where they can sell it out of.
I'll find out.
Okay.
Supposed to count for all the water.
They
Yes.
are, and that's something we're working with them right now.
We're working on,
They don't have to pay for it, but they have to.
They have to account for it,
Right.
and that's something.
they don't have to pay for it at the moment, but if they get to where
Okay,
they, if
'cause
they
that's
want.
Why do we have to pay for it? By
Because
the-
they're our
Well, the
Fire
idea is
department?
that,
Because
you
of the
know,
fire
it's a public service.
I'm not talking about the fire department. I'm talking about them contractors up there building that school.
What do you mean, why don't they have to pay for it? They do.
We pay for
He said they ain't got a bill yet.
The schools pay
The schools
Yeah,
pay.
we pay for it. We pay for the water.
They add it to the contract.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they get the water at the water
And I
plant.
think we're gonna talk a little more about that.
Not
after
water plant.
Elizabeth talks. One more thing about the GSC, I just wanted to say, there is also the investigation that's still going on. We're supposed to be having hearings every 90 days. We had the last one on February 28th. They haven't scheduled a new one. We just sent a data request. I don't know if you all are aware of that. Okay, so we just sent a data request in.
Brian sent you back.
Maybe, I didn't get
saw
it today.
I
Okay.
saw it,
It might have come in my office, I wasn't in the office today. So anyway, we're trying to get more data on that. We don't know when there's gonna be another hearing, but that is still ongoing, and that's the bigger investigation.
Is any news about that water line being laid up to the new school yet?
Well, we're gonna, let's let Eliz, so
We're
that's
gonna talk about that
That's getting
after,
added to the agenda.
after
So we're gonna
Elizabeth.
talk, so next we have Elizabeth Schuster. She's here from the she's the Energy Policy Manager for Food and Water Watch. She's here, she came all the way in from DC to talk to us about Food and Water Watch's work and their interest in Martin County and some things that she thinks that we might be able to work together.
Yeah, so thanks for having us. Just to give you some context is how Food and Water Watch got involved. We were actually contacted by a charity here called RAMP because they couldn't deliver lunches to the schools because the schools were closed due to some water issues. We are a nonprofit. We are headquartered in DC, but we have offices all over the United States in 15 different states. And we have something called the Public Water for All campaign. And we have a researcher, Mary Grant, who unfortunately couldn't be here. She's now the director of that program. Who's been working with a lot of people who are in this room on getting information to them. And we produced a brief, an issue brief on the situation that's going here, which I brought some copies if you guys want to take a look at it.
She brought plenty, so.
I brought plenty, but I can get you more. So, you know, a little bit more context about, you know, why we got involved is one of the things that Food and Water Watch does is we focus on organizing, grassroots organizing. And our federal program, which is what I work on, like the federal lobbying stuff, is actually like a small part of what we do. And when we were contacted, we were asked specifically to elevate this issue as a national issue. And since that time, it has gotten coverage by the LA Times did an article, a few others have done some articles. We have Kate Levy here, who's a documentarian who worked in Detroit with the Detroit water shutoffs and Flint with the water crisis. And I'm here today to sort of put this in context for you so that you know that this is not just a local issue, this affordability issue with this the dangerous water and everything like that. That is actually a national issue that people all over the United States are dealing with. And so, you know, we work a lot. We believe we work under the umbrella that water is, you know, a human right. There's a human right to water, and the UN has agreed with us on that. And we just have helped so many communities around the United States fight corporate takeovers of their water system, which is happening a lot, privatization of these systems, which doesn't work to the community's benefits. And we've been successful in those fights. And just to give you some idea of why we're in this situation in America, you know, federal funding for water and sewer systems has fallen 74% since the funding was at its peak in 1977. So that's a long time, right? And at the same time, you know, our water pipes are so old and need so much maintenance, and treatment plants need updates, you know, and that hasn't been happening because the federal funding is so low. Just last month, EPA released a new survey that found our drinking water systems need nearly $500 billion over the next 20 years to provide safe water. That's just the drinking water systems. So if you add in the wastewater and stormwater systems, America's water systems are going to need more than $35 billion each year to keep our water safe and clean. And what's happening, as we've heard today in this community meeting, and you guys are well aware, is the burden is falling on local governments, right, and is falling on the ratepayers to manage the increases in their water bills. Because there's no other way to get the money necessary to fund the maintenance and operation of these systems. And so what's happening now is America is facing an affordability crisis, a water affordability crisis. And a study from last year found that 12% of the population is struggling to pay their water bills. So that's like all over the United States, 12% are struggling. And so within the next 5 years, because of increasing water rates, we estimate that 1 in 3 families across the country are going to be unable to afford their water bills. 1 in 3 families. And according to a study, we did some more specifics that you guys are probably more interested in, Kentucky is ranked 4th in the nation for having the most areas at a high risk of unaffordable water services. So, you know, this is not just what you guys are experiencing, it's actually a national problem. And what complicates things a lot more, which you guys probably know, is a lot of the stories in the newspapers are about Flint and Detroit and Baltimore, which we're working on affordability problems there. These are big cities, right? These are urban areas. And when you look at like rural areas, small community water systems are more likely to violate like federal water quality standards. They're associated with more outbreaks of waterborne disease. They're more difficult because you're running pipes through like mountainous areas. And a recent study found that in 2015, nearly 21 million Americans, about 6%, were getting water from systems that violated health standards. So low-income rural areas have the highest rate of water quality violations. And this is like all, you know, the funding to maintain and operate these systems. It's a huge part of it. And it takes a lot of money to maintain water systems in rural communities. So we looked, you know, this brief goes into more detail about Martin County specific, but I'll pull out a few things that we sort of wanted to pull out for you guys about your system itself. So when we say affordability, we're looking at the international, it's like an international metric that was put out by the UN, that is your total water bill. And it includes both drinking and sewer bills, and it should not exceed 3% of your household income. So you just kind of think about that. And with the latest interim rate increase, which I guess is just temporary until they come up with like a permanent rate increase, a household using 60,000 gallons a year is going to pay $657 for water alone. With the interim increase, we looked at Martin County, folks who live on less than $15,000 a year, and the rates alone are unaffordable for 27% of those households. If the water district gets the full rate increase that they're proposing, a household using 60,000 gallons a year would pay $836 a year for water alone, and that's going to be unaffordable for 45% of the households who live on less than $25,000 a year.
So you're saying that with this interim rate, based on the
Yeah,
that is considered unaffordable.
who currently live on less than $15,000. But I can find out for you. Yeah, I think it's something like that, yeah. That might actually be in this issue. I just pulled out some. Yeah, you might have gotten it from Patrick, right? Yeah, so that's just the people in the county who live on less than $15,000 a year. So, you know, I give you those facts to sort of put it out there so you can see kind of where you are with regards to this national affordability problem. And we're actually lucky enough to have someone from Senator Rand Paul's office here. Because what I want to do now is sort of talk about connecting you guys, if we can, you know, helping you to connect if you're interested in to your representatives, you know, to your federal representatives. Because as you've heard, and it's great that you guys are doing so much on the water board and also, you know, within the water district itself to help fix these problems. And I think that's really great that there's a dialogue. These problems are not going to go away if it's just shouldered on the burden of ratepayers and local government, right? It's just not, I don't think it's a sustainable long-term solution. And we've seen that other places. So we really have to work on getting this more robust, stable federal funding. And there are things that your members, your representatives can do to help you if they hear from you. And they should be hearing from you. And I'm here today, I came all the way from DC today to see you guys because I want you to put a face to our organization and also know that, you know, if you guys want to connect with us in any way to set up local district meetings, Hal Rogers represents y'all. He is chairman of the Appropriations Committee. No, he's not anymore? Oh.
It hasn't been for a time now.
Well, he was chairman. They still call him Chairman Hal Rogers. So no, he hasn't, but he's got connections and he's, you know, a powerful member of Congress, I think you would agree.
Absolutely.
Powerful member of Congress. You have a powerful delegation. Rand Paul, junior senator from Kentucky. You've got McConnell. He's still the leader, right, as of today? Okay. Just checking. Yeah, things just change all the time. So, you know, you're talking about a very powerful delegation. And I will tell you that I did contact, you know, Rand Paul's got someone here. I did contact Representative Rogers' office, and they have secured some funding for you already. But from what I understand from talking to Mary, it's a small amount compared to what you really need, which makes sense. And there are other things, and also Representative Yarmouth, who represents Louisville, he just joined on to a bill that we have in Congress that would actually create a trust fund for water and would create a stable funding for like the state revolving funds, and it would actually has a specific partner we worked with, some rural water organizations. It has a part that would fund like septic rural areas and provide grants for them. So just sort of, he joined on that bill because I was in their office talking about what's going on here, and you know, they were interested in as much as they can without it being their district, bringing a voice, a national voice to this issue. So it's called the Water Act, and I can send you guys information. And I say that because, you know, that is, I think it is important that you guys connect with your local officials. And I know it's frustrating. There's a lot of mistrust on both sides, right? Congress seems very dysfunctional right now, but they are powerful members, and they can do stuff to help you. So they can fight for more funding. They can, you know, hopefully you saw in the news with the Flint water crisis. They were holding hearings up on the Hill, you know, about what happened there. You know, the majority can do that. They can call, you know, they can call hearings. They can start an investigation, a national investigation into what happened. It seems like there's been a lot of mismanagement, a lot of stuff going on for a long time. that they can start looking into. So, I mean, I just kind of want to put that out there. They can also fund stuff like the enhanced technical assistance that you guys have been getting from Kentucky Rural Water. The farm bill's coming up, that's kind of where that funding plugs into, and the Senate hasn't come out with their version yet, as far as I know, unless that changed today too. And the House has, so it includes some funding. That's stuff that, like, you know, your senators can fight for on the Senate side, you know, to keep those organizations that have been helping with so much funding, and create more funding for that. So I just kind of wanted to be here to answer questions if you have them about connecting with your offices. I will say that unless the calendar changed as well, they are due to be back in district, so out of DC back home, the last week of April and the last week of May, which is like Memorial Day week. So if you guys are interested in connecting with them in any way, we can put you in touch. We did have, in support, we did do an action to our Kentucky members. We're a member-funded organization. We don't take money from corporations or the government. And our membership base in Kentucky did send letters and emails and made calls maybe to the, you know, on this rate increase to oppose it actually for affordability reasons. So sorry guys, but you know,
Municipal County
we are able to do that.
All over. Wild up here.
Yeah, well, and I want to say, I mean, I think having Elizabeth here, having Bob Bocock come, I mean, we are making noise. The community here is making noise, and we're getting
wouldn't
national attention, and that's
Got as
huge.
much money as what we had without.
And so, you know, what the Water Watch may be able to help with, in addition to the work they've already done, is getting us connected more to our congressional delegation, so that we can try to get, I mean, I think the project Rejuvenate is like $13.5 million, and we've gotten, what, 4.6 so far? So, I mean, there's a big lags there of just basic needs, and these aren't like pie in the sky rebuild the system. This is just like fix the system so it functions, kind of capital improvements that need to be done. And, you know, that kind of money is not going to come from rates. That kind of money is going to have to come from grant funding. So I think that what Elizabeth is offering, and I think we really do need to start elevating this and start making as much noise with the folks in DC as possible to shake loose some money, you know, from whatever kind of grant funding is possible. So, and if you guys are looking at things, I know we posted, I think, on Facebook about some EPA grants, and I mean, you know, you just see things every now and then.
A lot of the funding cycles are in the summer, right? So this summer would be a really good time, but you need to have a grant writer in place so that once you recognize what your funding sources might be, somebody's ready to write that grant.
And I think you all have had help from DLG here.
Yeah, we have everybody like.
Now, Big Sandy's great.
We work with Big Sandy pretty closely.
They've got good grants.
But if we have specific grants that we're looking at, I think that would be important when we're going to talk to the delegation, you know, to have folks come in and sort of plead our case and talk about how important it is, and maybe give some testimonials about, you know, how bad the water is and how it's affecting people, how important it is, and then have that specific ask of, you know, we're looking at these grants, we need some help with these specific
And how do we
things. I think
find
that's
out,
what
like,
they would be.
if you know something's coming up, you know, like you said, you know there's a grant coming up, that you can connect to us too, and say, hey, did you know this one was available?
I think that we are going to try to work together with our DC office and Elizabeth, and we're going to identify hopefully some funding. And at that point, then if you decide to apply for that funding, then Senator Paul will do a support letter to the funding source and say, they really need this. I'm in support of this funding. I want them to have this funding. So we're going to work on that in the next couple of weeks, hopefully.
We're applying for everything.
Yeah, I mean, the other group to really ask, I mean, I know you're working with Kentucky Rural Water, those groups, like we work a little bit more with RCAP, Rural Community Assistance, but similar. You know, those groups help people apply for those grants too. My understanding is so you should definitely talk to them too. And I will actually reach out to my contact at RCAP to see. I'm still waiting for them to email me back, but, to see what's out there and what would be helpful.
Please,
Seriously, Hannah.
please, well, you're,
You're a concerned citizen too.
I was telling her I learn every day. We learn something new. We stay in contact every day, do we
We
not?
had talked with a Kim Paget, I believe, from Royal, and
Jim Paget,
I think,
Paget, yes.
she's great.
and she told us that she, in the next couple of weeks, was gonna Wayne to come over and talk with us. She thought she might be able to help us in some areas. Don't know
She's a
yet.
great source for
Don't know what that
knowing
is yet, but we did talk with her yesterday, I believe.
Yeah, yesterday.
She knows
I
where.
can't understand why we can't get any, or why there's been a limited supply of AML money. I mean, we live right here in abandoned.
In abandoned mine country,
Yeah,
yes.
right here.
you know what Secretary
There's
of State will tell me.
buku's money
Yes.
there.
And I want you to say that
Yeah.
right out loud.
What did Charles tell you?
And I don't know if he was being serious, but he said, well, you know, the thing with Martin County is most of that mining happened after the law. It's post-law mining.
No.
Which maybe there's, I mean, you look at the coal production, and yeah, most of the coal production in Martin County was post-law, because Martin County there's a spike. It's like 1977 to 1985, it's like peaks out and then it drops off. But that doesn't mean there wasn't mining here before
Yeah.
1977.
Yeah, there's
There's mining.
But if they cannot determine that the problem came from pre-law mining, and it looks like it may have even possibly come from post-law mining, you're not
And there's some,
eligible.
too, it has
Well,
to be
he-
like for specific economic development too, like I know they
Yeah.
have the
AML's not ready.
AML, let's see.
Yeah, you should be able to determine that there have been people here that at one time had wells. A lot of folks had wells that now can't, the mining industry has sunk the wells.
And
Or
that's
they've
one of the
injected,
things I
or
would
they've
like for
injected
us.
slurry into aquifers to where you couldn't use it even if you could get to it.
We've had people at our meetings who have told us about losing their wells within
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, that's part of the problem is, that's the reason the system got expanded out to serve the whole county is because, I mean,
Yeah.
anecdotally, that's what we know, is because people were losing.
Yeah, and there's so much money in there that they're using it for other things now, like retraining miners and stuff like that, and that's good, I have no problem with that. Okay, but the money was intended to correct the problems caused by mining. There was a man at, on Pigeon Ridge, in Denny House. There was an old mine broke through into his yard, sunk half of his yard, and slid off the hillside. And he contacted people in the state, there's nothing to be done. We did a story on it, and they determined that it was due to, a mine that was abandoned years ago that had filled up with water and finally ruptured and just destroyed this property. We should be able to argue the same thing with our water system, that
Well, I'll put in a plug here, I mean, I don't think it's dead, you all need to be calling people to support the Reclaim Act. It didn't get through this time, but that would free up a lot more AML money for counties in central Appalachia. Basically, the whole idea of the Reclaim Act is there are literally billions of dollars of AML money that are sitting in a pot in D.C., held up by various strings. And central Appalachia, because of our sudden decline in coal industry, needs that money desperately. And so the Reclaim Act would free up a lot of that money to come into central Appalachia in the next few years. It didn't make it through this time. It was supposed to, we hoped it was going to be part of the omnibus bill. It didn't make it through this time, but we're still pushing it. So if you all hear anything about the Reclaim Act, please push. That would give a lot more AML money to Kentucky to spend in Martin County as well as other places.
Well, now, we can't disturb the piles of money for corporate welfare now. We're not asking for that, are we, Mr. Ball?
Okay.
They have gotta have some money up there in DC for the corporate welfare.
That money is for things like this. That's what
I know,
it's-
sir.
I know that's
I
what
was
it
being
is.
facetious.
Yeah, I know, that's what it's intended for. It's not intended for anything else. I mean,
Yeah.
and that's what you have to do. And Denny Howe, when Denny Howe contacted, told us at the state level, they couldn't do anything. But
Well, seeing how the Central Appalachians, since they were brought up, has the highest cancer death rate of any area per capita in the United States of America, so says information from the Center for Disease Control, I think that we are owed.
yeah, we are owed.
The Central Appalachians powered this country through 2 world wars, through the Industrial Revolution. We ain't asking for nothing that we don't deserve. We deserve clean, fresh, drinkable
Yeah.
water.
Now, this is something too, we wanted to add something on that is definitely something that should concern all of our citizens. It's a case of the same old thing that got us here. We've got a case on it right now. We're talking about what happened back when they wasted our money on courthouses we didn't need. Well, let's now talk about something that we can stop before it happens. Because we've got something going on with our new school. Mr. James came, but evidently he had to leave early. But this new school is probably going to be delayed because of a misuse of our funds. Now that's what's happened. What's happened is we were supposed to have the water system go into the new school by December, according to the plans. The Army Corps of Engineers wrote a plan for how the water would go. That plan would take it the fastest route to get it over to the school from the water plant. Now, when that was developed, there was a second plan, and the Army Corps of Engineers said, no, you cannot have that second plan. And this is what they said. They said this water main going along 40 is already over capacity, and connecting a new main and a pump station to this water main would increase already existing capacity problems in the area. Therefore, this alternative is not technically feasible. Now, that's a bunch of engineers who said that, not me. So they said no, but they said this other way is your way to go. Now, the problem is an easement. There was an easement promised to the people who live there, and that easement was for $35,000. Now, that was promised by one person. Nothing was written up. There is no contract. That was a promise by one person who doesn't work at the water plant anymore. And now, there is a problem because the state says that doesn't assess for $35,000. It would be an illegal contract even if it's written on paper, but it's not written on paper.
$2,500.
$5,000 to $6,000 is what it's supposed to be assessed for. The state will not allow our school system to take it, pay $35,000. It's illegal. So the school system can't go that way. So now the new plan is going to cost the county, because the school can't pay for it, it's going to cost the county $500,000 more to take it around the long way, the way the Army Corps of Engineers said, no, we're not going to do that. And then, this also requires a bigger tank, which will require more money from our county. Now, what you're going to hear is you're going to hear people say, and including some of the officials, that there's a new plan. The new plan is better because there are some developers who want to put who want to build things up there, maybe gas stations, McDonald's, whatever. They want to put it up there, and they will now have more water capacity because we have paid $500,000 more water. That's corporate welfare. That is corporate
Pass the buck to him before he hooks up on it.
So, this is the thing. This is the thing, is that there is a possibility for that easement. That there is such a thing as eminent domain. They could say, our county needs this. This is what it's worth. But according to people in the courthouse, it's an election year. And they don't want to do eminent domain. I suppose that would cost a few votes. But I want the whole county to know that you vote too. So now let's just see, call your magistrate and tell your magistrate that you don't think you can afford $500,000 for a long way around that the Army Corps of Engineers recommended against.
Yeah.
You can't afford a bigger tank. And not only that, but Greg Scott and John Mills both said at the last board meeting that they also were worried about the Martin County Water District's ability to do this. So right now, call those people who are running for office and you tell them, I don't have the extra $500,000.
I don't either.
I don't know where it's supposed to come from. Do you?
We can't draw blood out of a turtle.
Right.
After you see the Corps of Engineers report, and after our meeting, because hydraulically, we just don't think it's working. So I'm trying to talk to Larry today. We're opposed to it, so I've talked to Larry, talked to Bobby the other night. I'm trying to get everybody in the room to sit down and figure
It
this
needs
out.
to be fast.
Because we have enough problems, okay? So my standard answer has been talking to fiscal court, but ultimately it's their problem.
And that's exactly right, because it's
Yeah.
going to be your problem.
So we're going to get involved.
The frustrations of it is that when someone else is over putting in the system, and the water board, we as a water board don't really have a say in it, and they go in and put in this system. The system's not gonna work.
It will dampen the water bill. You can't build the water.
Just like the Corps said, basically.
It'll suck the
It
water
will
out.
not work, like what they say that it
It
will.
has to go.
It will cost more money by doing it than it would to do it the other way.
We're going to try to get everybody in a room.
And listen, you need to be fast about this,
Well, I
because the
am.
school system is paying for that water.
So, look, I have been hesitant to get involved, but we are now. And Warren and I have been talking pretty much daily about what, because he understands the engineering part more so than I do.
Greg had sent
And
out a
so does
letter.
John Paul, and Greg has sent a letter to them saying we don't think this will work.
It doesn't do you no good to call your magistrate or call Mitch McConnell or Al Rogers.
I'm telling you,
Vote for ones that it does.
I know,
Not if they call.
but
So-
the rich is getting richer and the poor is getting poorer.
call them, it's an election.
So we're.
So vote for a magistrate that will listen to you.
Well, Victor Sloan won't do nothing. He's in cahoots with Kelly
Well,
Callahan.
vote him out. Vote him out.
It don't work.
And we all remain quiet about it.
Ain't nobody running against him as I know
That's the
of.
frustration.
There's others running against
So
him.
go the other way, it actually helps us pressurize the rest of the system, and we will have better water pressure.
Yeah.
If we go the way that.
If we go the way it
If you
originally.
go the way that the Army Corps of Engineers, I was told by the Assistant Commonwealth Attorney that this thing is going to be fixed, that they don't have an appraisal yet on it.
That's right, and that's what they're waiting on. And listen, they're gonna have to stop building if they don't do something.
Yeah, but I was assured that, that it's going to be resolved, and it may, bother some people, but it benefits everybody. Eminent domain is what they can do.
Look, we've been told, as a board member from Martin County, and you've been a board member from Martin County, we've been told, it's supposed to be done by December.
By December.
And it was all done. Now, we're gonna be paying for more water using contingency funds, I guess.
Contingency money that we worked hard to make sure.
And you gotta have it. You gotta have that contingency because other things come up. And in the meantime, every kid in this school, every kid in this county that is high school age is gonna be cheated out of that brand new school for another year.
I agree with you, because that's one of the
And you
things.
know, that's the thing, nobody wants to get involved.
We want to
I don't
make-
care, you know what, just step forward, you don't have to be on the water board.
Oh, I know.
You don't have to be the superintendent. Just step forward and say, no,
Well,
you gotta stop.
I was at the court
I
meeting
take-
and asked Kelly that, about this thing, and Kelly said, oh, this easement goes for $2 or something like that, a square foot. It's a gas company, and I'm sitting there thinking, what the hell are you talking about? Because that's gonna be a lot of money. From what I can understand, I've been told the value of the property that they need, $2,500 is a lot of money.
Well, I don't know, we've heard.
Fair market value.
Okay, it may be, I have no idea.
It's $35,000, and somebody apparently told the property owner that they get $35,000. Somebody didn't have the authority.
Somebody told them that didn't have the authority to tell them evidently. But this has been a ping pong game, back and forth, that the board members and that the superintendent has tried to listen to. The judge will lay it off on somebody else will lay it off on the judge. It's just back and forth.
And down at the PSC hearing, if you remember, Kelly Callahan was asked by Mike Smith about eminent domain. And Kelly said, well, that wasn't needed. Well, apparently it
Kelly
is.
rudely said it was none of their business, but it is their, Kelly rudely told PSC that it was none of their business, but it is their business because it's gonna affect what the water company can do. It
Yeah.
can.
I mean, it's, like I said,
Kelly don't want to do that.
Well, when's the next fiscal court meeting?
Thursday,
This Thursday?
next Thursday,
Next Thursday. Everybody needs to come to next.
4:30, 4:30, I
Sorry, but
think.
I can't afford $500,000 more dollars.
I wish I did.
And to
I
that,
just
too,
hate to spend it. We got it, but I just hate to spend it.
well, out of that $2 million that we had put back for contingency money, well, is that what we had?
I don't exactly know. I won't quote it unless you know the exact.
Okay, well, it's around $2 million. Okay, I talked to Larry, and they had to put propane heaters up there in the schools during the summer months, or during the winter months, and if they do any construction this summer, and it's hot, and they've got everything there, they're gonna have to bring portable air conditioners.
Sounds like this is something to take up at the fiscal court meeting next week. And I'm just going to say, it looks like our meeting's adjourned. I want to thank everyone for coming.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that.
Oh, no, that's not. She is a documentary filmmaker. She did a wonderful film on Flint, and she's here filming about our water situation, and she wants to make an announcement.
go ahead.
So, hi guys, thank you. So, I'm a freelance documentary filmmaker, and last year, I wrote a grant to partner with an organization called National Coalition for Legislation on Affordable Water to make a film about water affordability around the U.S. We're going to collaborate with a lot of different organizations. We're a coalition of grassroots groups working to draft legislation for affordable water. So Food and Water Watch is doing great work with the Water Act on infrastructure funding, and we're sort of taking on the affordability issue and the safety issue. So you can go online, affordablewaternow.org. I'm planning on cutting this as sort of a short piece that concerned citizens can use to put out sort of however you want the narrative to be about Martin. So if you have ideas about what should be filmed, I have a lot of time that's kind of flexible. If you want to spend time with me and tell a story, that too, you can do that now. You can take my number and call me. I'll be here till Sunday. Yeah. Wonderful.
Hey, you all sure?
So, Mayor, I want to offer that to her on Sunday.
The heat's gonna come.